Here we go. Good. Hello, Paul. It's good to see you. And we're here today because you want to share your experience with Toastmasters Advanced Clubs. So you're Paul Ireifej. So I hope
That's
I,
right.
yeah, so I hope I said that right.
Yes.
Paul, why don't you introduce yourself, how long you're a Toastmaster, and we get started with that.
Sounds good, Regine. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I've never been interviewed before, so this is a very rare opportunity for me, and I'm excited about it. I have been a member of Toastmasters for a very long time, since August 2010, if you can believe that. So I joined my first club at around that time, and it was part of AT&T where I worked. I was then a member of AT&T Middletown Toastmasters, which is my home club, and so I'm still a member of that. And I joined AT&T Middletown in October of 2013, and then most recently I joined Northern Stars Advanced in April of 2021.
Don't give it away because that is already the advanced club, and we would like to hear more about this in a minute. But
Okay.
how did you get started, or why did you get started with Toastmasters? I think that would be interesting for everybody to know as well.
Sure thing, Regine. That's a great question. So I started when I joined AT&T. I was working full time as a software developer, and this was my first club. Just coming. This was the first company that I worked for coming right out of college. And my hiring manager at the time, he could tell that I was struggling with speaking, which is understandable or expected because I grew up with a severe speech impediment. And so even now, I am still in speech therapy, just, sort of like learning different strategies and just trying to speak the best way I can. But so my hiring manager, he knew that I was generally uncomfortable with speaking, and honestly, even with just having one-on-one conversations, I was struggling quite a bit. And so it was him who had introduced me to Toastmasters,
Mhm.
and so we had a club in that building. It was a corporate club, but we did allow people to come in from the outside as well. And I remember this club very well because to this day, I still get a little bit nervous every Wednesday afternoon at 12 p.m. because that's when we we would meet, and we met every week.
Oh, wow.
And it was very scary. It was a terrifying experience, but I went consistently. Luckily, I had a very supportive group. They were all incredibly helpful. And so it wasn't that scary. And it really helped me to improve. And after I gave my first icebreaker, I just became obsessed with Toastmasters. And I was so happy that I had joined.
Cool. But now the question of all questions, of course, you were in a what we call a typical club. What made you look into an advanced club? What was the moment that in your mind that said, I want to go into an advanced club? What was behind that?
Well, Regine, I saw that there was a very big difference in the quality of speeches and the presentations that I was giving versus maybe some more of my advanced counterparts. So it really all boils down to becoming obsessed with Toastmasters speech contests. I competed in my first humorous speech contest maybe 3 years after I had joined Toastmasters, and I still remember, giving my humorous speech at the district stage, in front of a big audience in person, and I just loved the experience so much. But even with that, whenever I watched, some of my competitors, I knew that there was a big difference, and I wanted to get much better at presenting myself at
Mhm.
this level, in front of an audience at that scale. And so that's really where I started to look into advanced clubs. And I thought that the quality of speeches, as well as the quality of evaluations that were being done at these advanced clubs, were so much different. And I've really been enjoying the experience and learning so much from it.
Perfect. Yeah, I kind of expected you to allude to the feedback that you get or the evaluations, as we call them in Toastmasters.
Yeah.
So is it correct to assume that that was your main reason? Because when you get good evaluations, you tend to take more for your next speech out of it. Was that your reasoning why you joined an advanced club?
Yes, Regine, that's almost exactly it. So the quality of evaluations is so much different. So I have obviously nothing against my home club. I love them to death. But in your standard Toastmasters club, they do have a tendency to be what I describe as just overwhelmingly positive. You know, they do tend to just tell you every good thing that you do in your speech, which is perfectly fine, you know, and it's especially helpful to a newer member who might need that kind of encouragement. But then when you want to really work yourself up to get to that next level, you need very specific, critical, constructive criticism. And so that's really what I find is the difference with as an advanced club is that we are not afraid to tell you, obviously very politely, you know, very gently, but we do tell you what you need to do to improve. And with Northern Stars Advanced, I found this club in particular to be incredible because your standard club will assign just one evaluator to a speaker, but we do what's called a round robin where we open the floor and we let everybody give you constructive criticism about your speech. And this is a very good opportunity because it lets you see things from different perspectives. And something that we really harp on is we in Toastmasters, I feel like in general, you know, the educational program is kind of engineered such that you give one speech and that's it. With Northern Stars Advance, we really focus on giving your same speeches again and again and
Oh.
again, but we encourage that evolution, right? So we want you to take the feedback that we gave you, go back, make the changes, and then you can see for yourself how the evaluations help.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wonderful. So I take that is the biggest benefit for you going to an advanced club, the evaluation part, and then of course giving your speech again so that you literally can implement what you've learned and
Yes.
see how it works out and where you might have to polish a little more.
Yes,
Beautiful,
absolutely.
beautiful. Thank you. That it's very interesting to hear that. If you meet, or I should ask, what are the membership requirements that you have to join an advanced club?
So we've become a little bit less strict with our requirements for joining Northern Stars Advanced because we found that it scared away some potential members, and we obviously don't want that to happen. So in the past, we did have a requirement where you had to be a member of a previous Toastmasters club, and you have to have had completed at least up to level 2 in the Pathways educational program. We don't have that strict requirement anymore. And
Mhm.
now we just ask that you commit to making progress in a timely manner.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yes. Of course, I have to know, when do you meet? How often do you meet? And what kind of meeting do you have? Meaning, is it virtual? Is it hybrid? Or is it in person? So please.
So, Northern Stars Advance, we meet 2 times a month. It is primarily an online club. We used to meet online, but that was before COVID. And so, we unfortunately, due to COVID, we had lost our in person meeting space. But we are now actively looking for a new home. And
Mhm.
so, you know, we are hoping to be permanently hybrid twice a month. But for now, we do just meet online. And then we do have a hybrid meeting at a local library about every other month.
Wonderful. If somebody would be interested in learning more or even joining, we never can rule that out, right?
Mhm.
Whom should they contact?
Well, they could contact me. I am the president of Northern Stars Advanced. And so you could find my email online, and I would strongly encourage you to come as a guest, and then you can see the difference for yourself. Something that's really great about Northern Stars Advance is we have some incredible history, and we have some speakers there, who have been very successful in speech contests, right? And sometimes, especially with Toastmasters, I do feel that the quality of the evaluations is really only as good as the members in your club. And so, we do really bring that wealth of experience and that contest success.
Wonderful. Paul, very, very much thank you to all what you shared, and I'm sorry for the cat. He
Hi,
has
Kat.
he has to walk through over my computer. He always does it. So thank you very
Yes,
much for sharing all that information. I
you're
hope
welcome.
people who see this will be encouraged to at least pay you a visit, and even better if they would join you. So thank you very much for that interview.
Thank you, Regine. And maybe your cat wants to join us. Maybe